Hello and welcome to the Kieran Talk, back again with you guys for another show, for another day. It's not been great being an Arsenal fan, let's be honest. However, we need to move on. We need to move forward. We need to forget, not necessarily forget, but we need to leave the past behind and keep going. And that is exactly what we're doing today. And I'm not going to speak anything of what happened yesterday. Nothing. None point. But I am going to talk about the latest episode of our Tactical Breakdown series, a show in which we basically statistically break down the players that Arsenal are linked to and could sign for Arsenal, but with the financial situation that we're in right now, who knows what might be happening this summer. But I've got a bumper show for you today, talking about Marc Cucurella, who is a very exciting young Spanish left-sided defender slash midfielder. Plays in multiple positions. We're going to learn all about that in just a moment. But I've got two fantastic people lined up to speak to you about him. But before we do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video if you're enjoying things, not with life, but just the video. Try and put life aside for a second and just click that like button and let me know that you're getting on with things. So first up, whenever we talk about Spanish football, there is my go-to guy. There is Mr. John Driscoll from La Liga Weekly, the host of the podcast, commentator, massively knowledgeable about Spanish football if you've not watched one of our videos so far. So sit back, relax and enjoy everything that John has got to say about Marc Cucurella.
Marc Cucurella, first of all, I would say I'm always suspicious of any transfer story that involves talk of a release clause. Doesn't mean it's not true, but it's often not wise. If you think of Sandro Ramirez, who was doing well in Spain, young striker, he went to Everton because they paid a release clause. It was a waste of their money. It was a waste of years of his career. Doesn't do anyone any good. So never sign a player unless you actually really want him. Never sign him because he's cheap. That would be my advice to Arsenal. Cucurella is good, very good, fit, stronger than he looks, because he looks like he's got this big bubbly curly hairs and he looks quite skinny, but he's very much a modern footballer, covers a lot of ground, doesn't mind a challenge, doesn't mind a yellow card, fits in nicely at Getafe. Now if you don't know, Getafe are this hard-working, very unpopular in Spain with other clubs because they play in a Simeone kind of style. But they're Getafe, they're a tiny club, and they're at the top end of La Liga. They knocked Ajax out of the Europa League the other night. They just do the nasty things in football, but they're not cheats or anything. They just do all of the dark arts very well. Cucurella went from Barcelona's youth structure, B-team structure, and has done really well at Getafe. It shows the kind of adaptability, versatility that he's got. Now, he's nominally a left-back or a left wing-back, but he's actually playing in midfield for Getafe. That's classic Getafe. They've got Alan Neon, the ex-West Brom guy who's playing the other side as a right-sided midfield player. So that says everything about how they set up. If I was advising Cucurella, if I was advising Barcelona, I would say take Cucurella back, because that kind of energy and speed is exactly what they need. They've been playing Junior Firpo while Jordi Alba's been injured. Cucurella is better than him. So he's a terrific player. Good energy, good speed. I think he's physical enough that he could adapt to the Premier League. Don't know enough about him as a young man to see whether he would like to come and play in England. I look out the window, it's grey skies and rain. Maybe he wouldn't like that. Which does beg the other question. Tierney's Arsenal career has never really got started so far, but that's injury hit. Why not give him more time? And Bukayo Saka, similar positions to Cucurella, another fit, talented young player who can play anywhere down that left side. So there are my reservations about Cucurella. If he ends up going there and he ends up playing, then he could be a good sign. He is a terrific young player, despite my reservations about this transfer working.
A huge thank you to John there for helping us out. You can check him out on Twitter with the link in the description. But yeah, I think that he raises some good points about the players that we already have in those positions. That definitely will factor in. Let us know in the comments what you think about possibly superseding some of those players. Saka definitely has more future up in further, wider wing positions than left back for me. But Kieran Tierney could be affected by this deal 100%. And to be fair, further up the field. But to get a little bit more, because I feel like we need more. We need more information as well, as always. You can never get enough info And to help us out with that is a very good friend of mine, Kieran Quayle, who is the editor-in-chief of Get Spanish Football News, who I will speak to you just after Kieran has spoken about some really exciting stuff going on over there as well. But Kieran, break this guy down for me. What do you think?
Hi everybody, I'm Kieran Quayle, editor-in-chief at Get Spanish Football News, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Getafe player Marc Cucurella. So who is Marc Cucurella? Well, he's a Barcelona-born midfielder who's currently on loan at Getafe from the Catalan club. He's played 25 times this season for Getafe in the league, assisting 5 goals and scoring 1 goal. He's on loan at the moment. There's a deal in place with Barcelona to make that deal permanent in the summer for €6 million. Getafe will own 60% of the player's rights, while Barcelona will maintain 40% of his rights in order to have the possibility of a buyback option going forward. What type of player is Cucurella, and what type of player will Arsenal fans be able to expect? Well, he's a direct left-sided midfielder. He was a left-back. He grew up as a left-back with Barcelona in their academy, La Masia. He's now more direct link and play for Getafe, playing in that compact 4-4-2 system. He's a high presser. He's quick in his interceptions, his recoveries, and his statistics are really good this season going forward. Getafe don't play an Arsenal brand of football. They play compact, they're resolute, but they're effective. And for this reason, they've been linked. Several players have been linked with moves to different clubs, including their manager Jose Bordalas, who's been terrific in the last couple of seasons. The release clause in his contract is due to be €25 million. This is the fee that Arsenal will have to pay, but Arsenal are going to face stiff competition for this player. His stats this season have shown that he can really do it. He isn't fully developed yet. He's still in his development phase, but he has 2 years under his belt. Well, he will have 2 years come summer under his belt of regular La Liga football. In my opinion, he needs maybe another year or two to get that development. He needs game time. Maybe going to the Emirates, he's not going to get the same game time, but he will offer something different from Gabriel Martinelli and Nicolas Pepe. He's a different type of player. He's an old school left-sided player. Gets forward, he beats his man, he trusts his left foot, and he has the confidence of a player who grew up in La Masia. So it remains to be seen where Marc Cucurella will end up. He's got international experience under his belt, playing with Spain from under 16 level right up until under 21 level. So he is highly in demand. But as I said, he's in his development stages. He's still a young player and he's learning the game here in Spain. So we will see if he stays at the South Madrid club in the future or beyond the summer. Getafe are still in the Europa League, so he's also gaining European experience with the side. He's a very exciting player, somebody that Arsenal fans would definitely enjoy at the Emirates. He'll give them something different. And he is a joy to watch, as we've seen here in La Liga this season. So it remains to be seen. Cucurella is a very good player. He has a big future ahead of him, and he's going quietly about his work here under Jose Bordalas at Getafe. So we will see what happens. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'm Kieran Quayle. Talk soon.
A massive thank you to Kieran. You can go check him out on Twitter with the link in the description below. And what I wanted to mention is, whilst Kieran is the editor-in-chief of Get Spanish Football News, that is a website that I've currently hooked up with very recently to write a few pieces for. A couple of pieces on Nabil Fekir, who a lot of Arsenal fans would have certainly wanted, and Frankie de Jong of Barcelona as well. But not only that, is that they've just released their brand new magazine, The Modern Footballer, of which I have got an article inside about Ferran Torres, who is a fantastic young Spaniard playing at Valencia. I implore you to go click the link in the description and have a look. This isn't an ad. I don't get anything from this except you getting to read some fantastic football, including some stuff that I've written myself in there too, and from what Kieran has. It's not just from the Spanish side of things, it's from Get French Football News, which is the main mothership of sort of those things, which I'm sure plenty of you follow for your French news. But if you don't follow the other sites, they do the Get Spanish Football News, Get Italian, and Get German as well, which Drew of this parish writes for as well. So please do go check out those guys. There's some really fantastic stuff and an amazing new hard and digital copy magazine, which you can get really, really cheap too. So yeah, go support the site and go find out and educate yourselves on more European football. But let's move on to the main bulk of this show, which you are here for, which of course is the statistics. So let's have a look at our heat map of Marc Cucurella. You can clearly see left-hand sided player. Does like to get forward, does like to move into the opposition half, and he does that really, really well. Pressing with high intensity into the opposition side. Doesn't drift too much, quite disciplined to that left-hand flank. Won't see him drifting too much. Does like to push towards the byline, but not too much in terms of going in and cutting the ball back. He's more of a crosser, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Speaking of which, let's go into some of those defensive stats. 8.46 defensive duels, and 57% of those being 1, very strong. Aerial duels, 3.58, 41% of those being 1, 2, very nice, like that for a midfielder slash left back. Very good to see the amount of aerial duels that are being won there. Loose ball duels, 3.42. We've got a new statistic, loose ball duels. How about that? Getting those extra statistics from Y-Scout, liking that. 3.42 and winning 48.5% of those. Sliding tackles, not really involved with those. 4.21 interceptions is very strong for a player who's playing out on the flank. He loses the ball 10 times in each game, which isn't strong, especially when those recoveries are even less. That is certainly something that he needs to build into his game, something that he needs to improve in, but I'm sure that he will with time. Clearances, one of those being made in each game. He's fouling quite a lot, which leading to a few yellow cards being picked up throughout the season, but as John and Kieran highlighted, Getafe are not one for shying away from challenges, shall we say. Passing stats, they're looking at the passing stats. 29 passes, just under 70% pass accuracy. Now, from a Barcelona youth product, I wouldn't typically expect to see passing stats with that low of an accuracy. However, he is playing in a Getafe team. Now, Getafe changes things. They're not a possession-based side. They're an industrial side that will just do what is necessary to pick up as many points as possible. So it's very difficult to analyse these stats. All I would say is that when we're looking through those, really take that into account. Long passes, 3.58 with a 38% accuracy, not too shabby, but you have to understand some of those attempted long passes are going to be clearances. Through passes, 0.76 with a 21.7% success rate, quite low. Crosses, this is getting a little bit better, 2.7 over 32% success rate. If you can get close to the 50s, it's very good. If you can get close to the 40s, it's decent. So an okay return on crossing accuracy. Doesn't really assist too much, leading to low XA and second assist. Passed into the final third, 58.3% accuracy with 5 of those being made in each game. I'd like to see that a lot higher, but again, Getafe. Box passes, 3.48 with 41% accuracy. That's actually quite good. In fairness, 41%, that's not too bad. Receive passes, he doesn't receive the ball too much. He's not involved in the play because Getafe don't rack up too many passes in their games. They break the play up. They're not very nice to play against, and that leads to a forward-backward pass ratio that is 2-1. It's or maybe just nearly 3-1. It's not amazing, but it's okay. Backward pass is very accurate. Forward passes needs to work on. I think there's lots of different factors that are making an impact into this for sure. Defensive duels, we've talked about. Let's go on to the attacking stats to try and get those last inches out of Marc Cucurella. 1 goal, 4 assists so far this season. Only 0.86 shots per game, and most of those are going off target. 23.1%. This guy is not someone you can rely on too much for a goal or for an accurate shot. You can see how much they're coming from the left-hand side as well. Shot assists, he's trying to set up those chances. Dribbles with just over 2 with 48.5% accuracy, not too high. Offensive duels, 5.24, 42.4% being 1. That's pretty decent. 1.43 touches in the box, leading to 1 progressive run just over being made per game, with 1.53 fouls being made too. That rounds things off. A very, very difficult player to analyse. One that I would say that when we do this is why it's really important for us to get the expert insight on these players, because the statistics can only tell part of the story, it's fair to say, and it's extremely important to know and hear from people who watch these guys week in, week out. And I think that if you listen to what John and listen to what Kieran have got to say, you can understand that this player has got a lot of quality, playing in a team that is very abrasive, and that definitely hits his statistics, taking them down. So before you make too swift of a judgment on this guy, I would definitely think to have a watch of him at Getafe. You have plenty of chances now. You've got your Thursday nights freed up. now you've got your Thursday nights freed up to watch Getafe in the Europa League. So you've got plenty of chances to go out and have a watch of him. I certainly will be keeping a close eye on him as we head towards the summer. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please drop a like on it. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit that subscribe button as well as clicking that join button to become a member and help support this channel through the dark times. I'll see you again very, very soon. And as always, up the Arsenal.